If to err is human, do all my mistakes make me superhuman? Welcome to the podcast.
The emergency alert system has been activated. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message.
Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Global Detection Adventures podcast. I'm Lance Goolsby. As always, I'm sitting here in the XP Deus Blackadder studios in Schweinfurt, Germany. And alongside me, about 8,000 miles away, I got my co-host and co-compatriot, Dave. He's sitting high on top of the Lambeau Field as people start lining in for the football game.
Yeah, hello everybody, this is Dave D. You said it, Lance. They're all starting to come in. I just ordered my horse collar sandwich. It's like a $25 sandwich.
Oh,
it's a 3-foot brat on this huge U-shaped bun.
Oh.
It's amazing, man. So, yeah, we're getting ready to hopefully get another victory today. And speaking about victories, I got to tell you about a victory I'm just about to have.
What's up?
Monday. Well, I got a little card in my P.O. box, and I didn't tell anybody about this, but you know everything about the XP Deus, and I've been reading about it and studying about it, and you know me, the V3i sweeper guy with the whites, right? But I just got this itch, man. I think everybody says such a high review of the XP Deus that you know it. I got one.
Really?
Ordered one. Yep, I broke down and, ordered one, and I'm going to have to tell my V3i to, it's time to take a little break here. And it'll probably be sad, but you know, like I said, the XP Deus is French, and you never turn down a French girl.
Yeah, you never turn down a French girl. Well, that's kind of interesting because we got on the show with us today. Now, everybody who has a XP Deus, they might know this guy. In fact, everybody knows this guy from the instructional videos that are currently on the Knowledge Library over on the XP website, xpmetaldetectors.com. He's also known for all the rallies, the expositions. He's done news for our podcast as well for XP Detectors. And he's with us sitting in the UK right now, and we've got him on the line. I want to go ahead and welcome Gary from XP Metal Detectors onto the show.
Gary.
You got me. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Great. How are you today?
Absolutely wonderful. Sorry.
Yeah, you've been a busy guy.
Yeah.
I've seen you're all over the place. What's been going on with you in the last few weeks, months?
Well, as you know, the XP rally went really, really well. That took about 6 months of planning. So, I've got even less hair now. So, you know, we can still wear the XP baseball cap, so it's not a big problem.
Yeah.
It went really well. It was a fantastic event. Everyone enjoyed themselves. We just had so many people turn up from all over the world, and it was just great to meet up with these people. Of course, the dealers from XP from all over the world, a lot of those turned up, and it was just a great event. I have to say, though, the French guys, they just killed it. They made the party.
Yeah, if you've seen the video, go over to the XP website. They got it under their videos tab. Gary posted a really great video of the entire event on there, and I watched it. It's about 18 minutes long, but it's well worth a watch. It's looks like a really great event.
Hey, Gary, is this just for XP Deus owners only when you go to this official XP rally?
Yeah, it was for XP owners only, but we had a few sneak below the radar, but we couldn't police the situation. It was just good to see everyone in one place as such, right. You know. But the good thing is, I just want to thank everyone who bought a raffle ticket because they made some fantastic money for charity. We're just about to do the photographs and hand the checks over. So we have made about just over £3,800 for Macmillan Cancer Support.
Oh, wow.
And we have made just over £3,800 for Help for Heroes. So we split the profits down the middle, and it's gone to each charity. So we're hoping to hook up with those guys for a quick photo session and hand the money over soon.
So tell me exactly how. Like for me, I'm here over in the States, and next year, I want to come in and join in on the fun. So what's my first step to get over there and get into the rally, and like how much the tickets cost and packages and all this stuff kind of goes through your head because you're in a land that you've never been before. Is there some help on to arrange for somebody from the States or a group of guys from the States to come over there and be a part of the rally?
Sure, we've had the XP Adventures website running with regular updates and all the information, booking, electronic booking systems and maps and travel information. So everything's been up there on your screens. We had to shut the gates because we had too many people applying for this. So a few weeks before, we just had to say enough's enough. We've reached capacity, and that was it. Because obviously you have to have a set amount of numbers because you need to keep control over it and insurance purposes, really.
Yeah.
What do you find?
They can actually find the website is actually xp-adventures.co.uk for any information and that you might want to get from that. So go ahead, Dave.
That's right. Yeah.
Where do you find the best? Is it better to do the camping over there, a little bit more camaraderie between detectorists, or is there hotels available? Do you have that choice?
The hotels filled up pretty quickly, I must admit. But the camping, you're absolutely right. It was a good sense of camaraderie, and you had a big fire pit, and everyone sat around the fire pit drinking. We had live music all through the evening. So yeah, I'd recommend the camping, but I will say we're not actually doing an XP Adventures event next year. We're going to give it a miss. But Mark, my partner in that event, is from a club called the Metal Detectives, and he's going ahead and doing another big rally for next year, but it's open to all the manufacturers. So hopefully it'll be a bigger event, but hopefully XP will be there as well if we're not too busy. So that's one to look out for. But book early because these sort of things now people have seen how successful they can be. I think the tickets will sell out pretty quick.
Yeah, and with any kind of luck, I'm hoping to see the GDA crew out there actually recording a show live in front of an audience as well.
Can you imagine that? That'd be brilliant.
That would be fantastic.
Hey, when you guys go on these adventures and you do these rallies, are the fields are they virgin fields, or are most of them been hunted already? And how do you pick your location?
Do you know what? That is a very good question because there's a term in the UK, that field's been done to death, and the field is as far as the eye can see. It can be hundreds of acres, really. A load of fields, and to use the terminology, this field's been done to death, is absolutely crazy. For example, there's a little field not far from me. It's got Roman fines, probably the size of 2 tennis courts joined together. And I've been doing that field for 20 years and I'm still finding stuff off of it. So, the word's done to death. Can we really use them in detecting terms?
Well, especially when they till the soil, turn the soil over twice, maybe every year or twice a year, you're gonna find better targets. They're not going to be as deep, or if maybe they were laying on their sides and now they're flat, and so exactly. I mean, you have just a really great advantage over there when you got a farmer helping you out.
It's just like the field that I've been metal detecting over here. I thought I had pretty much hunted it out, and so when I got my Deus, I went back out onto that exact same field that I thought I was getting absolutely nothing on. And next thing you know, I'm pulling out silver coins and actually discovered a road that had been lost for 160 years.
Absolutely, and with the Deus, you've got so many dimensions. You can search your patch in, for example, 18 kilohertz, and then you can go on 8 kilohertz, and another day you could use Goldfield program, another day you could use pitch or full tones. It's just got so many options with it. you can't really say a field's been done, because on the Monday it could be quiet, but on the Tuesday it could just be, like you say, giving up silver coins. And that's the mystery of this hobby. That's what keeps us going, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Exactly.
And just so you know, I've found that road and all those coins directly underneath high-power tension lines. And the Deus was actually really beautifully able to cut through that chatter from those lines.
Perfect. It makes you wonder just how much of this hobby is pure luck compared to skill.
Yeah, I think it's a high percentage of luck.
I think you're right.
That's the first thing I'm going to do as soon as I get that. As soon as I open up my Deus and get it out, I'm gonna go visit all the places that I've already hunted with the whites, and I'm hoping that I'm able to uncover a little bit more history, stuff that I missed. So that's what I'm really curious about, and I'm really excited about getting that thing out. I'm going out next Sunday for sure, and I'll get my first video in, and I'll make sure everybody gets to see that on YouTube and GDA.
Oh, you know I'll be watching.
Yeah, but Gary, you just came back from Paris, France, and you were at a metal detecting convention, and you guys actually had a XP booth there. And can you tell me a little bit about your experience at that convention in Paris?
Yeah, it was really good. We went there last year and it went really well. So the guys who organised it were a company called Detection Passion. They're a French company who mainly do the magazines, and they invited everyone there. And all the dealers. It wasn't just an XP show, it was a metal detecting show in general. And it was just good to catch up with people. You know, there was a lot of people come through the gates. Must have been 1,000 people there in this hotel conference centre. It was brilliant. And the language was a problem because my French isn't very good. But we still managed to have a good time and have some good conversations with people and get some new information. And the feedback from the rally, because as you know, over 300 French people come to the XP rally, and the feedback from those guys was just immense. It's amazing how good they are at detecting, because they put us Brits to shame on that rally. They really did.
What were some of the vendors? Who were some of the vendors that were there besides XP?
There was a lot of XP dealers. Nocta were there, Nocta Macro were there, Minelab were there. Pirates, now they're from Bulgaria, and they've got a French importer now called Nicholas, and he seems to have rebranded the Pirates. That was good to see. Lots of different magazines, French magazines were there, because they're very big on their magazines and stuff like that. Also, my old friends Maison de la Detection were there, and once again, they just laid on a really, really good show. You'll probably see the video up there. They always put 120% into their events, and their social media and everything is just brilliant. I just can't get over how good these guys are. Who else was there? I'll tell you what I did see. There was a guy, he had a stand, and he's made all these models from detecting junk. And they're fantastic models made out of shotgun cartridges and just bits of junk you'd normally throw away. And he's kept them all and just made some really awesome models.
Yeah, I saw some of that in the video that you had posted on there. One of them was a Viking warship.
You got it, yeah.
Yeah, there was some absolutely beautiful stuff that he had made just out of stuff that he dug out of the ground.
Yeah, I wonder if there'd be a good outlet there for an annual competition. Who can make the best model out of junk, wouldn't it?
Ah, be careful. Wait, that's a great idea.
So when you were out there, did you have any cool surprises happen? Did you meet any cool people, or I know you meet a lot of people throughout the trade, but anybody that stood out in particular?
I met up with the diggers from the USA, Tim and KG, who do the TV program. I met up with those and had a talk with them.
Yeah,
they were really interesting guys. They're going out on their own now and doing their own program because their contract's finished.
Yeah,
they're still using the Garretts, but you know they're really, really nice guys, and I enjoyed their company.
Yeah, that was the thing. the thing about their show was they were just down to earth guys, and you knew if you ever met them in person, you can automatically be friends with these guys. There was no big heads with these guys. They were just really down to earth.
They really enjoyed what they did and sharing what they did.
Yeah, do you know what? They had time for everyone. Every guy that come up or lady would come up, ask for their autographs. They had time for them, and I think that speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah, that definitely does. It really does.
We actually have Gary's interview that he did with KG and Ringy.
You're very right. I actually have that logged in right now. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and play that, and we'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Gary Blackwell, reporting for the GDA podcast. I'm in the metal detecting show in Paris. I've met up with two great guys. You probably know them from the Diggers on the TV. So I've got Tim and George here. So, guys, what are you doing here all the way from America?
Well, yeah, as you know, we've been sent overseas several times lately. We made visits to France, Germany, England, Belgium, the Netherlands, Australia, Canada. What else, KG?
France.
Yeah, France several times.
Yeah, we've been in, like you say, Australia and Canada. We've been filming more of our shows, and we've been super busy, and we're excited. We're actually, we've been searching for other avenues like Netflix. We're on Netflix now, and I believe YouTube, and we're actually searching for a network to carry our shows. We have several options, but we're actually searching for more options. We would like to get our show over here in Europe.
Yeah, it would be kind of nice to get more of an international flavor to it, because everything we did on our original 66 shows was all based in the U.S. And we have a lot of history there, obviously, but over here it goes back thousands more, years based on the metal things you can find in the ground. So, that's so interesting, and it's a huge new, avenue we could pursue.
Yeah, and we definitely want to do it the right way. We don't want to just go running wild out there and find history. We want to make sure that everything's legal and legit, and everybody's happy with us when we leave.
Yeah, exactly. And every country over here has their own particular rules and stuff, so it'd be nice if we could work with everybody and see if we could dig a little stuff up and present it to the people in a way, that only we can.
Wild and crazy.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So you've been to England detecting last week?
Oh, yeah.
So tell me about your trip there. Did you find some Roman stuff?
Oh, yeah, we did. It was great, stuff all the way from like the Victorian times and back to Roman times. It was great. Some of the guys that were out there with us, one guy found a pre-Roman Iron Age silver Celtic coin, and man, was that thing beautiful.
Exactly. It's still there to be found, and that's the beauty of it, isn't it? As detectors advance, now we're finding the smallest stuff in the difficult soil, so it really is a great hobby, isn't it?
It's the greatest hobby out there. I mean, what other hobby can anybody afford to do? Anybody can buy a metal detector, go out with their family, get off the couch, go out there, and you never know, they might find the most incredible discovery of their life.
Yeah, and think about how many different hoards and cool things that people have found in the last 10 or 20 years, and all of that has been found with a metal detector, because somebody's out in a field that nobody would have ever thought to search before, and here we're all as a big group worldwide contributing to recording history.
Like say and getting and working with the right people, and and making sure it's done the right way, and so that we can keep doing this hobby we love. That's important. We have to approach it in a political way too.
It seems like it could be kind of a pain, but we need to work with everybody and make sure everybody's happy, and I'm very adamant about that, and the fact that I'd love to see all the countries kind of come together and get a similar plan where it's not outlawed in certain countries, and it almost forces criminal behavior, like almost like prohibition of beer in the United States in the early 1900s. They were had illegal breweries and everything until they finally made beer legal again.
Right.
But could you imagine in Germany if they outlawed beer? What would happen?
It would never be over.
You listening, Lance? Because I know one of our hosts is from Germany.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He's listening to that now and he's thinking, shucks, no way. But it'd be great if we could have a universal platform
Right.
to build it all on, wouldn't it?
Right, exactly. Like in the U.S., I mean, when we're building our shows, I mean, we had an archaeologist with us the entire time. He wasn't on camera a lot, but he was there, Mark and stuff, and we worked side by side with archaeologists a lot. And we know the friction between archaeology and metal detecting is there. And if we could come to some term or where people are happy and not trying to shut everybody down,
Yeah,
I mean,
it'd be fantastic. Yeah, it really would be. I mean, obviously not everybody can walk around with an archaeologist, but if we could all work together and it would be encouraged to go find things, and then people would be encouraged and proud to display their finds because they knew it was done in a legal way, that'd be fantastic. You just report it and go on about your business. It'd be best for everybody, but how do we get there? I don't know.
So where are you going after France? Are you going back to the
we're heading back to the U.S. This conference or this little expo happening in Paris here. We were just in the Netherlands, went to London, and went to some places in England, and then they found out kind of as a last-minute thing this was taking place, and of course Garrett has a booth here, and they said, hey, can you guys just stop in Paris before you go home? So we're here. We're already exhausted from digging billions of holes. So we're going to go home and rest for a little bit.
Okay, and then carry on digging billions of holes in the US.
Exactly.
Listen, great. It's really great catching up with you.
Thank
Perhaps
you.
we'll have a beer later on.
Yeah.
I saw you at the bar last night that someone was bending your ear and I thought...
No. We'll definitely do something tonight.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for your time and look forward to seeing the new programs.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
This episode is brought to you by XP Metal Detectors. And if you head over to their website, xpmetaldetectors.com, you can see their full line of products that they offer, multiple different metal detectors, from the Gold Max Power to the G Max 2, the Adventus 2, the ADX 150, and obviously the XP Deus, the one we're pretty much been talking about all night. Check this out. This machine, if you do not already own one, is extremely powerful. There's a reason why it's considered one of the best metal detectors on the planet, if not the best metal detector on the planet. So check them out over there at www.xpmetaldetectors.com and check out their full line of products. And besides, she is one sleek and sexy French lady. What can you do wrong there?
Well, welcome back to the Global Detection Adventure Podcast. I'm Dave D, along with Lance Goolsby.
Hey, y'all.
And we're talking with Gary Blackwell of XP. And Gary, Lance and I will have we have a couple questions we want to ask you about the Deus and some of the accessories and what is new and upcoming with the XP Deus.
Yeah.
So Lance, why don't you go?
I'm going.
Well, I'll go ahead and start this off. One of the biggest things that I've been keeping my eyes on now for several months, since actually I got started talking with you first, Gary, was the XP Detectors' very first pinpointer device, which is the MI6. We're currently several months out from it actually being available. I think it's a couple months, and no official release date is available, so it will be announced as soon as it's available directly on xpmetaldetectors.com or xpmetaldetectors.co.uk. But right now, they've actually announced a lot of the features that this is going to be. And I know for a fact that both you've got one in your hand right now, and you were just helping people take a look at this in Paris last weekend. One of my biggest questions is so many people know the pinpointers that are out there on the market, like the Garrett pinpointer or the Garrett Carrot that's currently out there. Those are probably the two most popular that are out there. But what's the one thing that the MI6 is going to be setting itself apart from the competition that's out there?
Okay, yeah, good question. It's got lots of different features, and as we know, if you've got an XP Deus, you can make it communicate wirelessly through the headphones. It's got some really neat features. Where do we start, to be fair with you? Okay, when you turn the pinpointer on, if you're in Deus mode, which is program number 7 on the pinpointer, if you turn the pinpointer on, your Deus screen will change to a pinpoint screen. And not only that, when the pinpointer turns on, the search coil turns off, so you don't get any interference whatsoever.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And as you zoom in on a target, your Deus screen, the target zoom screen, I should say, narrows, so you get like a bullseye area for that. Turn the probe off, and the Deus springs back to life again, and you're back into the normal detect screen.
That's fantastic. That's a beautiful advantage. One of the things is that a lot of people they just turn their pinpointer straight onto vibrate, but now you don't even have to do that. It's communicating directly to your headset, so you got it in your hand. You don't have to take anything off. Everything that you're using already, it's currently just taken over that, and you're using the pinpointer not only in your hand but also on the screen, and so you have kind of the dual pinpointing action, and the strength of that thing is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's very, very powerful. You can adjust the sensitivity via the Deus controller.
Yeah.
You've also, if you haven't got a Deus, you can still use a pinpointer, because you can access 6 different power settings and vibrate settings just by a sequence of button presses.
Now, it doesn't just have, like the Garrett just has the single tone and vibrate. The one thing that I noticed that the MI6 is going to be having, it has a couple different tones on it. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's got a tone adjustment, but the feature I really love on this pinpointer is the pitch mode. And what can I demonstrate?
Yeah, please.
I've got one just here. So this pinpointer is set to pitch mode. It's got the conventional bleep mode, what the Garrett's got, but this pitch mode really is nice. Let's go. Switch it on. So it's got a VCO, so the closer you get to the target, the more it revs up. So this is a shallow one. This is a deep one, sorry. We're getting closer.
And then it explodes.
Bang!
Well, let's hope it explodes with gold. That's what we're looking for out here. That's actually really fantastic, and it really gives you multiple signals. The tone setting on that, it really goes from deep to extremely high, so you know exactly how close you are.
Yeah,
it's much like the Deus itself. how it tells you the depth just by the tone strength and everything else.
Yeah, you know what my concern, I had, this is probably, I'm on my 3rd Garrett pinpointer, and the biggest drawback with me is the on-off button starts to, I don't know if it wears or what, but it gets to a point where it won't turn on, and you have to actually hold the button while you're using the pinpointer. And 2 is the speaker hole. It fills up, but you can clean that out. But for some reason, the tone on the speaker just starts to get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, so it's really hard to hear, even with fresh batteries.
Huh.
I'm not sure if it's a water problem or a dirt problem, but the on-off switch, is that has the same as with the rubber coating on top? Is it waterproof? How does that differ from the Carrot?
Okay, it's got an on-off switch very similar to the Garrett, but it's a much heavier duty rubber switch, which is a part of the body. So it's fully waterproof. When you press it on, you can feel it's got a good solid click to it. So yeah, I mean, the Garrett's done a good job for many, many years, and you can't knock them. But this is why XP have taken so long working this one out because they just want to put as many neat features into it as possible. I mean, it'll always be a pinpoint probe, let's face it, but a car will always be a car, but you've got Fords and you've got Rolls Royces. Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
This is really the tip of it all. Submersible up to 20 feet. So you've got the end cap, what screws on, which makes it completely waterproof.
Wow.
On that, you've got the tag for the lanyard, which fits in the holster. So that's really good. You've also got, from the Deus screen, you've got tone adjustments. So you can adjust how high or low the tone is, which is really, really good. It's got an on-screen battery location, so you can see how much battery life you've got in your probe, very much like the coil and the headphones.
Yeah, just like the coil, yeah.
Yeah, just like them. It's really good. Charge it up in exactly the same way as you do your Deus with the same adapters. If you don't use the LED, it's claimed that you get up to 90 hours on one charge, but I'm still testing it, so I can't verify that at the moment.
So what's the cost? I mean, this is just for the XP, right? This pinpointer. What is the average cost of one of these pinpointers if anybody's interested in getting one?
I really don't know, and that's the honest answer. I haven't got a clue what it's going to be. We're still in the prototype stage, so there may be changes made and things like that. So realistically, we can't put a price on this just yet, but we will do very, very soon.
Will it be kind of a competition price, with the Garrett, somewhere in the same general vicinity as that one? Is that what they might be aiming for, or are they aiming for, there's a difference between quality and, I guess you could say, popularity, and that the XP quality does come with a slightly higher price, but it's not to be ashamed of because the quality is just outstanding.
Absolutely, it's again, you can't buy a Ford for Rolls Royce money or whatever. It's one of them sort of things. I really don't know what the price is going to be, but we're going to be as competitive as possible. That's all I can really say, guys. Honestly, it's one of them things. We just have to wait and see. It's not going to be crazy money, but I'm hoping it'll just be a little bit more than the Garrett. But don't hold me to that. We've really got to sit down and talk about the market on that one.
Okay. Well, I do know that, everybody a lot of people have gone through this situation where they've been out metal detecting. They used their pinpointer, they placed it on the ground, they walked off, and they got home and they realized that their pinpointer is missing. I can point out about 10 videos on YouTube that I've seen. I think our friend Siren Kimmy's had the problem. I think Butch Holcomb's had the problem. Even the guys that were on Rebel Gold, they had the problem. We've talked with them about that as well. But it seems that XP has actually gone past this problem of losing your metal detector. Can you let us know exactly what research mode is?
Okay, well, in a week, I must have thrown my probe away at least 10 times in long grass, bushes, all sorts of things, just to test this research mode. So even if your probe is switched off, if you lose it up to 20, 30 feet away, you go into the Deus screen, select pinpointer, select research mode, select go, and the thing starts bleeping. So you can just walk straight to your pinpointer and pick your pinpointer up, press the on-off button, and it switches research mode off. You're back to detect screen. So
yeah, that's
really good.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
I would get that just for that fact.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, that's just a great upsell. That's the first thing. That's the first thing I'm going to get is that pinpointer once that comes out.
Yeah, definitely.
But another thing I'm going to need to get is I'm going to be traveling. Actually, I'm going to be going to California first week in January, and I'm going to meet up with Todd Roy, our comedian XP user. You know him well, Gary.
Oh, he's a great guy. Yeah,
definitely is.
I'm going to need a traveling case for the plane ride. What's a good hard cover travel case that XP has, And what are we talking about prices in the range for the cases?
Okay, we do a dedicated hard case for the XP Deus. It's not just for travelling, you know. I've had a lot of people say, do you know what, I've bought this hard case purely because I've got crazy kids in the house and they're always going through my stuff or stampeding through the house, and just to put your detectors safe in a hard case is just such a good idea. So we do a dedicated XP hard case, and they're available from any XP dealer really, and everything fits in. You can even fit all the coils into the case, your headphones, your module, the stem, everything goes in. So
now there's even I was looking at it today because I want to get one myself, because if I'm going to be going next year around to all these little events, and plus to store it, I store my Deus in a bag underneath my bed right now. But this would definitely keep it a lot safer. But I noticed that there's a little slot inside it that's almost the exact same length as a pinpointer.
You've got it. yeah. It goes straight in. That's strange, that, isn't it? Just goes straight in. Unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something for anybody who's got a Deus. First of all, it keeps everything organized, clean, and safe. So if you got an XP Deus, I highly recommend one of these hard cases. We're going to go ahead. We're going to cut to a commercial. We're going to come back with the ArchMD Mag news, and it's going to be a little bit different this week. We're going to see how this is going to run, and then we'll be right back after that and talk to you guys in just a few minutes. It's been a year since I got my Black Ada Extended Invader. I'm still using it. I'm using it religiously. And I guarantee that if you guys get the Black Ada Extended Invader or any of the lines of the digging utensils from Black Ada, you're going to love them as well. They're powerful, they're well built, their welds are masterful, and they are extremely robust. These are the greatest accessories for metal detectors to carry along with them. I guarantee you'll love them. So, check them out at www.blackada.com. That's blackada.com.
I have never lost a belt buckle in my life. I have never lost a harmonica. I have never left a mason jar in the yard. I'm perplexed at these phenomena, and so I cry. How'd this get here? How'd this get here? Tell me, how'd this get here? On a lovely bluff high above the Cumberland, digging normal stuff one might expect. Out pops something I have never seen before, a coin from India, dated 1810, and so I cry. How'd this get here? It's got Persian writing, Persian words. How'd this get here? Oh, the quizzical expressions as I hold these lost possessions. This metallurgical obsession leads me to the endless question: how'd this get here? La da 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 da, la da 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 da. Let's examine the belt buckle mystery. Buckles, plain and fancy, lost long ago, and I'm not talking about those buckles of the brave men who fell in battle, just the buckles of the ordinary Joes. How'd they get here? How'd they get here? How'd they get here? How'd they get here? Did belts fall off? Did pants fall down? How'd they get here? I have never lost a belt buckle in my life.
All right, so we're going to be bringing you the news. This is all coming from archmdmag.com, so head on over there to get even more news. But these are going to be the top stories for the week. Dave, what a find! I tell you what, this guy has done some amazing stuff. A rare two-door ring was unearthed by an amateur treasure hunter in North Yorkshire, and it's sold just recently for a 5-figure sum. I'll give you the story. An amateur treasure hunter who discovered a precious two-door ring has sold the extraordinarily rare piece of jewelry for a 5-figure sum. Lee Rossiter found the green Hamilton ring in North Yorkshire using a cheap metal detector he had bought off eBay. The 15th century ring is also 80% gold and contains a ruby and an emerald. It's kind of a two-half upper portion, you know, where the actual diamond would sit, or the emerald and ruby would sit. Each one has its own little circular piece of gold, and it sits on top of the finger with that. Mr. Rossiter discovered the ring while he was searching with the Yorkshire Searchers Metal Detecting Club at Green Hamilton near Harrogate in April of 2015. Really beautiful ring. This is... You know, we were kind of talking about this before the show. We were kind of going over what this idea of a 5-figure sum was. And so that's basically anything from 10,000 to 99,000 pounds.
Yeah, I think it's going to be closer to 10,000. When they use that 5-figure sum, it's always on the low end. I just want to make it a little bit more intriguing of a value and kind of keep you thinking, oh, wow, it could have been, $100,000 or $50,000, but I'm gonna guess it's between $10,000 and $15,000. But you know what really upsets me about this story?
What's that?
The guy uses a cheap metal detector. Everybody who finds these hoards, they're using cheap metal detectors. What's up with that?
Yeah, but any kind of a cheap metal detector to some of these people, it could have been a $10,000 ground penetrating radar that he got for 2,000 pounds on eBay, and he considered that to be cheap.
A big part of it is luck. Your right place at the right time.
Just like the 3-year-old last year in England, he was out with his grandfather's metal detector. I can't even remember, but the kid had the headset on, and the dad was swinging, and the kid's like, yeah, it's going beep, beep, beep. And they dug it up, and it ended up being a medieval reliquary case box, which is extremely rare, and a 3-year-old ended up finding this.
As Dave said, it's all luck. Yeah, congratulations to the guys who have found it, but a lot of this is luck. You just can't avoid that.
Yeah, if you've seen a picture of the ring, it is a very large ring. And if you think about the period the Tudor period, it was one of those times when everybody was wearing these really gaudy rings around to try and show their wealth and their status in the UK. Especially in a time when so much war and so many fights were going on, somebody walking around with this huge ring is definitely somebody of status.
And of course, they used to wear the rings on top of their gloves as well, so that made them even more chunkier.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to go ahead and cut over to the next story. The next story is coming out of the United States. An explorer says he's found pirates' treasure. This story actually just broke a couple days ago. This was on the 12th of October. The undersea explorer who discovered the Whydah Galley, the first authenticated pirate ship in North America, the first authenticated pirate shipwreck in North America, believes he's found where the ship's legendary treasure lies after more than 30 years of poking around the murky waters off of Cape Cod. Barry Clifford says his expedition recently located a large metallic mass that he's convinced represents most, if not all, of the 400,000 coins and other riches believed to be contained on the ship. We think we might be at the end of the rainbow, Clifford said in a recently opened Whydah Pirate Museum on Cape Cod, where many of the expedition's finds are now showcased. A pirate shipwreck in North America. It's... everybody thinks the Goonies and everything else, that pirates weren't really around North America. But if you pay attention, like the Curse of Oak Island, or just this story itself, and there's a couple other ones. There's some that are taking place off of South Africa. But even those stories tie into the United States and North America like crazy. So it's this guy finding, the treasure haul of a pirate shipwreck that...
Yeah, I'm wondering if he was always looking for this particular treasure, because 30 years looking for a particular treasure.
Yeah.
You got to be obsessed with finding this thing. Or did he just, he was just basically sort of like a metal detector just going around and then eventually finding a big hoard. I would really like to know, that part of the story, because, man, 30 years diving underwater looking for one treasure. I'm talking about divorce and
yeah, but look at the Jersey Hoard. Them guys were searching for 30 years on a field, a few fields, and yeah, they finally found it. So, follow your dreams.
And if you want any more news about archaeology and metal detecting, please check out our friends over at archmdmag.com, where all these stories came from, and read more. Dave Sadler would love to have you guys come visit their website. So that's it for the news, guys. Dave, what's going on?
Me, personally? Where do you want me to start? When I was 4? No. Yeah, I got questions about, because now I'm putting down the V3i for a bit and picking up the Deus in a week. And I want to talk about the frequencies. And with the V3i, it's a 3-frequency machine. It runs on all 3 frequencies. Visually, it's a great display. But how does the frequencies of the Deus differ than the frequencies from the V3i? Because the V3i, you got 3 frequencies. You got a 2.5, a 7.5, and a 22.5. And wherever it's hitting the hardest, you can kind of tell what metal it's going to be, plus based on the V3i. But the Deus has 3 frequencies of its own that it uses, and they're different. What are those 3 frequencies, and how is it similar, or what's the differences?
Okay, at the moment, the Deus uses 4 frequencies on the current coils. So frequencies can not just, like people say, yeah, a lower frequency is for bigger targets and a higher frequency is for smaller targets, but you can't really assign a frequency to a target type, because the frequencies, changing frequencies, can also let you penetrate the soil better. So some soil conditions, your 4 kilohertz will be a better option than 18 kilohertz, and you're still going to find the really small targets. Another thing is target orientation. 4 kilohertz can also find targets on the surface that 18 kilohertz will miss, and that's a really good experiment. We're going to do a video on that soon. Higher frequencies, they can work better in difficult ground. As you know, ground all over the world changes, so it's always good to have a higher frequency option because it can penetrate difficult ground conditions.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And one of the things that I've actually noticed about the XP Deus is that, like I was talking a little bit earlier with Dave, comparing the XP Deus to the metal detector that I had, which was the Tesoro Cibola, is like trying to compare pears to peaches. They're both great machines in their own right, but I've never thought, moving from the Tesoro, that I would be in multiple coin days. Each time that I've gone out with the XP Deus, now I'm thinking I've been out 5 times. The signals and the signals that I'm getting, it seems to be penetrating the ground a lot better, and it's giving me a much more accurate reading on everything that's in the ground through the audio tones. And I've been able to find more coins in my searches than I ever did with an entire year with the Tesoro Cibola. I'm not knocking on the Cibola whatsoever. It's a great machine. But it's like Gary was explaining earlier, you can have a Ford or you can have an Aston Martin. A Ford is a great car. It'll get you around. But the Aston Martin is really fun to drive. It's powerful, and it's just sleek and sexy. And the XP Deus is French. You never mess with a French woman anyway.
Where did I hear that something before?
So you know the old saying, if you're going to be a cowboy, wear silver spurs. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Tell me, Lance, that when you first started with the Deus, I know I kept telling you off for looking at that meter. What's your take on the meter now? You've been out with the Deus a few times. Tell us your feelings about your audio response and basically your progression.
Yeah, that's one of those things. When I started going out there, because as you know, when we were talking, I was trying to go out there completely blind, not knowing anything about the Deus, and just going out and trying to learn as anybody might do. You know, how many people actually go through and take the time to read an instruction manual. And this one's a little bit larger. It seems imposing when you get the instruction manual in your hand, but it's actually a really easy read and it's really informative. And I just didn't take the time to read it. So I went out there and I'm swinging and I'm getting tones, but I'm still looking at the screen. I'm looking at the signals that I'm getting. And it just didn't make sense to me. The tones to the signal, the display signal, it just wasn't corresponding. And finally, you just told me, Lance, forget about the signal, the display. Just listen to the tone. When you feel that the tone is a really great tone, then dig it up, find out exactly what it is. And that's exactly what I ended up doing. I was going out and I was just listening for those tones, those really fantastic tones. It could be a really great deep tone. It could be a really great mid tone. It could be a really great high tone. And I was noticing that when I get those really great mid and high tones, I was getting really great relics. And that increased my relic find. Because I'm a relic hunter. I'm not a coin hunter. I don't go out coin shooting normally. I'm looking for the relics, the pieces of history that have been lost in time in the dirt around Germany. And so I increased the amount of finds I was getting. And then slowly I started turning back to looking at the display. But it's not to get an idea of what it is. The display is not as accurate as the tones will ever be. Just like this last time I was out, if anyone's seen my last video, I found a necklace pendant that dates from the 12th to 15th century. We're talking directly in the mid ages, and right in the middle of it. And the tone that I got was an extremely great high tone, but it was quiet. It was a really quiet tone. The display showed absolutely nothing on it. I had 0, but the tone was weak, really quiet, but an extremely great tone. And I figured out that it was coming from directly in the middle of this 1.5 foot clump of dirt from that field that the farmer had just turned. So it was deep enough where the control box wasn't able to discern the numeric value for it, but the tone was still able to pick up that perfect pitch. And that's what it ended up being. It ended up being the brass medieval cross pendant with the skull and crossbones on the bottom. And a lot of people, people who use the Tesoro that are just looking at the display, they might be missing some really great stuff. Listen to the tones. Even if it's a really weak tone, if it's a great tone, dig it up. It just means that it is further or deeper than what your display box will actually be able to show.
It's just a correspondence, just give the meter a courteous glance to have a look down just out of your own curiosity. But like you said, if you get the really faint sweet tones, and the key is if you can lock onto the tone. If it moves around and you can't quite lock onto it with the coil swing, then it's probably rubbish. But if you can lock on with that coil and comfortably pinpoint it, it's got to be worth a dig. I mean, your spade is your best discriminator, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. And, I still use that display. I mean, I'm not saying don't use it, but it only gives me a general idea. It's not a very accurate display, but it is accurate enough that I can then discern, I get really great low tones that end up being great fines. But the problem is that if I get a really great low tone and I'm getting a 0.4 on my display, I know it's just going to be a large clump of metal. But if I get a really great low tone that ends up being 34, 35, then I should probably dig that one up.
Yeah, let me just add here. There's going to be a lot of people that are listening right now who are like, what? And they're just pulling the rest of their hair out of their head, not knowing what we're talking about. But I got to tell you something. Gary, you have unbelievable YouTube videos that really make using the XP Deus easy in my mind. Where can they find what is your YouTube channel and what types of videos do you have geared towards XP Deus users?
Okay, I do the official XP videos, but are on the XP website. It's www.xpmetaldetectors.com, and they've got a series of, let's say, professional videos. And I've got my own YouTube channels with the videos the boss says, no, not good enough for us, stick it on your channel. So if you do a Google search for Gardansolin, GARDANSOLYN, don't ask me, that's all the family's names in one, Gary, Dan, Sophie, Lynn, Gardansolin. If you do a YouTube search for that, you'll find my channel there with just loads of XP stuff, and I just hope it's really helpful to people. We're doing our best there, and we're getting good feedback.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's very helpful. I mean, you got over 4,000 subscribers to your channel, and like I said, it's really, really easy to understand because you're like a matter of fact kind of a person. And so I just recommend anybody who's getting the XP or has the XP and wants to learn how to tweak it in different conditions, or just go with the programmable, modes that they have there. You got to check out his videos. But also, you have a website too, Gary's Detecting. What can we see on the website from you?
Well, Gary's Detecting, that must be 25 years old, that website. It was when the internet was pretty much on its infancy. I was one of the only ones up there, and I used to do lots of reviews and things like that, but things have evolved since Gary's Detecting. I mainly run the XP Classroom, which is www.xp-detectors.co.uk, or just Google the XP Classroom. That's where all the updated XP blogs are. If you put a /forum at the end of that, you'll go into our XP forum as well, where you can interact with other XP users from around the world. So the Gary's Detecting, that was great fun in its day, but it's a little bit dated now. So XP Deus guys, just get onto the XP Classroom, I think, and there's a lot more valuable information on there than on my original website.
Well, why do you think that the XP is really become a phenomenon here in the United States? It's a European machine. The company's from France. And a lot of guys are using it here, especially down south when they're hunting relics and Civil War items. How was that transformation from Europe to United States? Was it an easy one? Because I know a lot of guys are using it. So how did that transformation to get to the United States happen?
Yeah, we got some people that have been on the show, like Laszlo Peter Ellis. He uses the XP Deus as well.
Do you know what? I can answer that question really easy. The reason why XP Deus is so successful in America is purely because of you guys. You guys are out there in the field, you're doing it, you're reporting back to us, you're finding little tweaks to it which us guys in Europe never need. For example, your bottle cap rejection, your big silver tones. So all this feedback and the popularity is down to the users in the field, and we can't thank them enough for giving us great information.
It definitely does seem to be getting caught on a lot more in the United States, and I think people are realizing the sheer power that this machine really definitely has when they use it out in the field, especially in the southern states with the more sandy soil and looking for the Civil War relics that are out there. The XP Deus is just dominating out there nonstop. Everybody, they use it.
I fully appreciate that my videos are for the European market, and a lot of it doesn't appeal to you guys in the US because you've got a different way of searching out there. But I know that this machine is so adaptable. There's a little jewel in the crown somewhere which is going to suit someone on a certain site. So it's just really finding it, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Well, I got I was watching a video today on GDA, and a guy was having problems using the Deus in the sand. Is that because doesn't have it set up right, or is there a problem using the Deus in the sandy, like going at the beach or something like that?
Wet sand.
Wet sand.
Yeah, wet sand is a really difficult nut to crack. And there's all different types of mineralised wet sand. It's just not one type. So, yeah, I fully appreciate that Deus isn't the best machine in wet sand. It's more of an inland and dry land machine. But, 1 minute you think there's that guy having problems in the wet sand, and then you get an email with some photographs of another guy having the time of his life in wet sand. So it's really difficult to sort of nail it down, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I can definitely understand that too, because I mean the soil types on every beach, it could be even on the same coast, the soil type within 50 miles of each other is going to be completely different.
All right, well, let's take our final break. You're listening to the Global Detection Adventure Podcast. I'm Dave D, along with Lance Goolsby, and we're talking with Gary of XP. We're going to be right back after this, and stay tuned.
As you can hear, we've been talking about the XP Deus just about the entire episode. So if you've been on the market for an XP Deus, or just tonight you decide that you wanted to go ahead and get yourself one, then head on over to the XP Classroom. That's www.xp-detectors.co.uk, and check out all the videos there. They're instructional videos on exactly how to use the XP Deus to its fullest potential. If you own one, it's one of the best things that you could possibly do. This classroom is designed for you. And if you're on the market for one, this is one of the places where you should start looking, because you can see exactly how easy it is to actually control this extremely powerful machine. So head on over to the XP Classroom and check out all these videos. That's www.xp-detectors.co.uk.
No matter where you live in the world, chances are that you are aware America has a presidential race coming up. I'll not recommend who the best candidate is, but I will say this: life would be a whole lot simpler if they were both metal detectorists. If they were metal detectorists, it would be easy to decide based on just a few questions. For instance, do they cover their holes? Uncovered holes shows a disregard of property ownership, a general lack of respect to the earth, and you're probably against the Green Party. Do they sneak onto property without permission? Well, that shows a general disregard for law and order. Do they toss trash back into the hole? That shows laziness at the expense of others, and I'm not going to vote for them either. Do they insist on owning every new metal detector known to man, yet they don't take the time to learn any of the machines properly? That's a matter of buying recognition that is mostly undeserved and shows the outward appearances are more important than really tackling the problem. No vote for me. Do they see dollar signs on every item they find? If it's every item, that shows greed. Do they become disgruntled when their hunting partners make a nice find? Well, that shows selfishness. It is too late for this upcoming election, but for the next one, I suggest that we send both candidates a metal detector. There's nothing quite like our hobby to bring out the best and, unfortunately, the worst in people. Surely America deserves a leader who will at least fill in their holes. This is Butch Holcomb of American Digger Magazine, still looking for America.
All right, so we're back, and make sure, like you heard on the commercial, head on over to xp-detectors.co.uk and check out all the classroom videos. Learn how to use the XP Deus and many other things with our good friend Gary Blackwell, who's with us today. Gary, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, I know there's not a lot of information about it out there right now, but the XP is going to be bringing out 2 brand new coils, and these are high-frequency coils. There's the 22.5 high frequency, and there's also an elliptical high frequency coil that are coming out. And honestly, I think they look really sexy. They're both white.
Yeah, it's just a myth. They're not really coming out. We're just winding everyone up. Yeah, high frequency coils, the HF coils. Okay, great. They work off high frequencies, but they have a lower frequency. They start off at about 14 kilohertz, 30 kilohertz, and 55 kilohertz. But you know, when you're on the frequencies and you go into your expert mode, on your current Deus, you've got 3 segments. You've got the middle, left, and right, just to shift the frequencies. But on the new coil, you've got 7 segments. So if you're on 15 kilohertz, if you go to the left, it goes all the way down to 13 kilohertz. If you go to the right, it goes to like 16, 17 kilohertz. So in theory, you've got between 13 kilohertz and 57 kilohertz on one coil. So it's the whole range. So you've got loads of frequencies to choose from on that one. But that's just the prototype one I'm using at the moment. Whether the production ones will be the same, I really don't know. But I'm pretty sure they will be. Yeah. So that's just your frequencies. Another thing is, like myself, I'm thinking if you use a higher frequency, you're going to find tiny targets. But guys, I've got to tell you, I've been testing it at 50 kilohertz, and I'm digging Coca-Cola cans at a foot deep. What's that all about?
That's crazy. That's really deep. So it's with the higher kilohertz, it should actually give you a little bit more depth at just about. I guess you could kind of compare it at that depth. It would be around the 15 hertz range. It would be able to find really good targets at a foot deep, not just really tiny targets right on top.
No, and that's what surprised me, because when I started using these really high 50 kilohertz, I thought I was going to be finding very small targets, period. But no, I'm finding the full range. I've only been out a few times with it. Granted, I've still got to do some more testing, but so far, I think it's going to be a game changer. I think it's going to be really good. And another thing, what people don't really take into consideration is, okay, great, a coin, it's a big target. You'll find that with any frequency. But what happens if that coin's on edge? That's a really tiny target if you hit it from a certain angle.
Yeah, especially if you're talking about hammered silver. And we're talking half a millimeter in thickness, and that thing standing on its edge would be invisible to so many different machines.
So, you know, we're waiting to get some feedback, because we're going to go through the testing stage next month, where we're going to be sending some units out to our guys to test. So we're going to get a little bit more feedback then, and then hopefully go into production late December, perhaps early New Year. I'm not 100% sure when we're going to go into production. It all depends on the feedback we get. And once again, I really don't know about the prices. But what I really like about these high frequency coils is the battery is now mounted in the lower stem. So if your battery goes flat, or you simply want to change your battery, you just unscrew the pod, put a new pod in, takes 30 seconds.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's actually really nice. I like that one. Now it's coming into the circular, which is, I believe it's going to be the 11-inch circular?
No, it's a 9-inch circular, same as your normal Deus.
Okay.
And
then it's also got the elliptical one, which is the one that once this actually does come out, I'm personally going to try and use the elliptical one that's out on my fields out here. See if that one's going to be a little bit better on some of these new fields that I have.
And it looks sexy, doesn't it? It looks sexy. You can take that coil on a date, no problem.
It's French. You can't argue with a French girl on a date. But yeah, these are going to be two really great coils for the XP Deus, and I'm really looking forward to these. Now they do say that they're going to be great for gold, searching for gold, which a lot of the people that we know that are out there, and they're gold hunters, and they're looking around and prospecting out there. This might be something that they might want to look into beginning of next year. I think this is going to be, like Gary said, it's going to be a game changer, especially with those higher frequencies for the people that are out there looking for gold nuggets in the middle of Australia.
Oh, well, everyone wants gold, whether it's gold nuggets or gold coins or whatever. They just love gold. So if we can make something which is better for the gold, it's all good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. Now, both of these coils, they're going to be working off the version 4 software, along with the MI6. All three of these are going to need the version 4 software on the Deus control box. Is this correct?
Absolutely. It's a free download, and it takes probably about 3 or 4 minutes to do. It's not available if you've got a Mac computer, only a Windows PC, but everyone knows someone with a Windows PC. It's just plug and play, follow the on-screen instructions, and you're done. The V4 software has got some neat little changes. For a start, it's got a more efficient reactivity level, so you can work that little bit closer to iron, which is really good, especially from my point of view with the sites I work.
Yeah.
The reactivity level, you've got at the moment you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but now you've got reactivity 2.5, which is a really good all-round reactivity setting for general searching. So that's good. And another thing, we've done a lot of work on program number 10, which is Goldfield. If you get a chance to go out and sort of get your ear into Goldfield, it's worth trying, because people don't realise how dynamic this program is. It uses less filtering than conventional modes, and it's got a really good iron rejection. It's got a feature called IAR, which is ion amplitude rejection. At 0, it doesn't reject any iron. At 1, it'll reject iron at a certain depth. At 2, a little bit deeper. At 3, and so on. And at IAR maximum, number 5, you reject most iron, but you really are using a raw detecting mode. It's quite dynamic, but you must get an exact ground balance using Goldfield by using the pinpoint button and just pumping it 1 or 2 times, and you're good to go.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've found out on my new field that I have to do a pumping ground balance as well. But yeah, that's everybody who's got a XP Deus. They'll figure that out themselves if they have to do a ground balance on the ground or not. But yeah, the new software sounds fantastic. Plus, it's got the update for the MI6 for the control box. It's got the update for these new coils, which should be coming out probably next year. And everything's going to be running flawlessly. Like you said, it's not very large. Unfortunately, I have to beg my wife to let me use her Windows computer since I run a Mac, and see if I can plug my stuff into her computer to download it. But it's not a big deal. It's not a huge bit of software.
So simple to do, you wouldn't believe. It really is.
It's just quite plug it in and just let it automatically update, correct?
Yeah, just follow the on-screen, go into configuration, update, and it says now plug the cable into your controller. Zip, 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 it's done. Have you got headphones? Yes. We'll turn them on, updating, job done. And it's as simple as that.
Fantastic.
And it just, as long as you've got your search calls sat next to you there, it'll update the search calls as you're sitting there. So although the version 4 update is to accommodate the new high-frequency coils, you're still going to be able to use your conventional Deus coils along with it without any problems.
It's basically it's completely backwards compatible. So anything that's come out prior is still usable, plus objects and some more peripherals that are going to be coming out in the next couple months are completely covered by it as well.
Absolutely, and you've also got the Go Detect app. It's going to be compatible with the Go Detect app, which is downloadable. It's a free app. You just download it, and that's like got GPS tracking from your mobile phone, so it works in harmony with your Deus.
All right. Yeah, so we'll definitely go over the Go Detect app. I've got that, just downloaded it myself today. I'm going to be using it next weekend while I'm out hunting, so hopefully I can talk about it in 2 weeks when we come back onto the show.
Now, Gary, the one that I'm just getting, is there going to be any updates I need to put on that?
On the Go Detect app of the Deus you're getting, no, that's good to go. Plug and play, and you're ready to go.
All right, good.
It'll be in version 3.2.
So if you want to get the MI6, you need to plug it into your Mac and let it update. And like you said, it takes about 3 to 4 minutes, and then you're done.
No, don't plug it in your Mac, because nothing will happen. It's going to be a Windows PC.
That's what happens when I have a Mac. I just keep thinking Mac. I wanted to say computer. But yeah, plug it into your computer and let it update for 3 or 4 minutes, and then you're ready to go. As soon as the pinpointer comes out, you'll be ready to, I guess, get that thing in your hand and get out there rip roaring.
Absolutely.
Well, we were fortunate enough today to have you on, Gary, and with you with XP. What are some of the things we can look forward to as far as rallies or conventions? Anything happening in the United States in the next year that we can look forward to?
Hopefully we'll be travelling to the US next year and do a little bit of touring round and visiting some of the dealers and you guys. And if there's any really good rallies there, we probably would like to attend and just meet up with the guys in the field.
Yeah, that's fantastic. There you go, Dave.
There's a lot going on next year. It's just too much really to mention. But,
anything coming up in the near future?
The near future, I think I'm going to Holland in a couple of weeks to go to a rally there. There's a rally in Holland. I do believe there was something in Italy as well happening. So it's just a case of just waiting for it all to happen and get these new updates, the new coils, the pinpointer finished, and then we can move on with the next project, really.
Yeah, definitely. Keep me updated on the Italian one. I might be able to make it down for a weekend for that one. Well, that's if that's anything else to plug there, Gary. That's for XP for anybody else.
No, just go out and buy one. Makes sense, doesn't it? Go out and buy one.
Absolutely does. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut off with Gary right now. Dave?
Yes, I'm still here.
Sadly enough.
Yeah.
I've got a request before I go.
Yeah.
Sure.
Play Whit Hill, Dug It Up again.
I will do.
Just love it.
And if you didn't hear, today's song was Whit Hill's How'd This Get Here? So that was played a little bit earlier. So make sure you check out Whit Hill on our website as well. But yeah, we'll definitely, we'll close the show with I Dug It Up. How about that one?
That's just so good of you guys. Thanks very much. It's been great talking to you.
Great talking with you, Gary.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today, Gary. I really appreciate you coming on. And I know we talked a lot about the XP Deus today, and in the future shows we'll be talking about your favorite detector. But today we were fortunate enough, like I said, to have Gary with us, and he's a very busy man, so we really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And thanks for coming in and talking with us.
I want to see them videos, Dave, you and your new Deus. So
I can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Especially when you change your name to Deus Dave.
Yeah, you can't be V3 Eye Swinger now. You've got to be
yeah.
So you've got to be V3.2.
I was thinking about Deus Dave. What do you think about that?
Do you know? I think that's good.
Well, you know what? I really appreciate that, Gary. Dun. I was waiting to say that all day.
I'm going to have to put some ham on that cheesy bread.
Yeah, let's finish on a low point.
All right. I love bringing down the show at the end, but Lance, I'm going to be taking off right now. I get ready for the Big Packer game. Got to get out of my office because I think the coaches are going to want to use it. And let's see. We'll see you guys in 2 more weeks.
Definitely 2 more weeks. We're back on schedule. Everything's back on track. The family has gone back home to Nebraska. I was really glad to have some time with them, but we are back on track with the Global Detection Adventures podcast every 2 weeks. So every second Monday, there's going to be a brand new episode, and you guys can look forward to it. It's going to be regular as clockwork.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody who makes the Global Detection Adventure podcast. Whit Hill with their beautiful and really cool metal detecting music. I'd like to thank our guest today, Gary Blackwell of XP Deus, and Butch Holcomb for his great segments that he brings in every week. And we're all thinking of you, Butch, and your wife. I know she's going to have some problems right now, health problems, and we're all thinking about you and your wife, and hopefully she'll get back on her feet. And
from all of us at GDA, we're just rooting and hoping and praying that your wife makes it through this all right.
And thanks, Dave Sadler, for your research on your news at the Arc Mag, and I really appreciate you taking the time and getting us all that news, updated news.
Fantastic guy.
Well, for me, I'm out of here. It's Dave D, soon to be known as Deus Dave, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, and I'm Lance, and I'll see you guys out on the field. Let's dig it up, y'all.
Deep in the woods, it was ringing real good. 10 inches down with a solid sound. Mule shoe, you're so sweet. I'm gonna take you home with me. I dug it up for my baby, but he doesn't want it, no. He says go wash your hands. Look what I found underground for my baby, but he doesn't want it, no. 'Cause I dug it up. Out in a field with my ears peeled. All alone, I got a good tone. Silver dollar, you're so sweet. I'm gonna take you home with me. I dug it up for my baby, but he doesn't want it, no. He says go wash your hands. Look what I found underground for my baby, but he doesn't want it, no. 'Cause I dug it up. Under the sand, found a gold band. Big diamond ring, just the thing for my baby's hand. Gold ring, I say to myself, I'm gonna save you for someone else. I dug it up for my baby, but he ain't gonna get it, no. I'm gonna go wash my hands. Look what I found underground
This has been a production of the GDA Podcast Network.